Angela, are we ready?
Yes,
Or-
Chair.
I can't, could you just say it again? I couldn't hear you.
Yes, Chair, we are ready.
There we go. Okay, very good. Okay, welcome everybody to the November 17th, 2021 Local Agency Formation Commission meeting. We'll officially log the start time is 2:31. And obviously we continue to meet. Kevin Mullins on the telephone. Hang on a second. Sorry. We continue to meet via teleconference, and the board chambers is still closed, as it's been for over a year now. But at this point, in any event, the clerk will explain how both written and spoken public comments can be made by attendees of this meeting. Angela?
Thank you, Chairman Slocum. For those attending the meeting on the Zoom video conference, we will use the raise hand feature in order to organize any public comments. During the general public comment period and for each item on the regular agenda, I will ask those members of the public who wish to comment to click the raise hand feature to speak on that agenda item. For those joining by phone, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. When you hear your name called, I will prompt you to unmute your microphone and inform you that you may begin speaking. You will have 2 minutes. Please note that members of the public must wait for the prompt in connection with each agenda item before using the raise hand function. For example, you may not raise your hand in the beginning of the meeting if you wish to speak later in the meeting. Written comments that were submitted in advance will be read by staff during discussion of the appropriate agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you. Could we proceed to item number 1 on our agenda, which is the roll call, please?
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Here.
Commissioner Draper,
Here.
Commissioner Horsley,
Here.
Commissioner Lohman,
Here.
Commissioner Rohrbeck,
Here.
Vice Chair O'Neill,
Here.
Chairman Slocum.
Here.
Thank you. And we also have alternate members present, Katie Martin, Jim O'Neill, and Diana Reddy. Staff present is Martha Poyatos, Rob Bortelli, and legal counsel Timothy Fox, along with help from Janice Lujan. Thank you.
Very good. Welcome all. Thank you for joining us. Moving on to now item number 2, which is to open public comment for items not on the agenda. And Madam Clerk, did we receive any written public comments, or we have any hands raised out there?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did not receive any written public comments for items not on the agenda. And I do not see any hands raised from the public at this time.
Very good. So we'll close off the public comment here. Oops. And move to item number 3, which is the consent agenda. We have 3 items, I believe. One is to approve the minutes from September 15th. The second is to adopt a resolution making findings relating to remote meetings under the Brown Act, and C, time extension for LAFCo file number 19-03, which is the proposed annexation of 252 Club Drive in the unincorporated area of San Mateo County. And is there a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved. Second.
Very good. It's been moved and seconded. Do we need a roll call here, Mrs. Clerk?
Yes, Chairman, and I would like to clarify who made the motion. I heard a couple voices and it's unclear to me.
think
I was one of them, but I can yield.
I was one, but I'll yield to my colleague if he wants to.
Okay, so we'll take the motion from Commissioner Lohman. Thank you. Commissioner Cosgrove,
Aye.
Commissioner Draper,
Aye.
Commissioner Horsley,
Yes.
Commissioner Lohman,
Yes,
Commissioner Rohrbeck,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Neill,
Yes.
Chairman Slocum.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Your motion passes.
Very good. Thank you, everybody. Item number 4 on the agenda is a consideration of approval of the draft audit prepared by RJ not sure how you pronounce that, Riaciadi Incorporated, of the San Mateo Local Agency Formation Commission's financial statements for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. And I know that LAFCo staff will present on this item for us.
Good afternoon, Chair Slocum and Commissioners. So you have received a staff report dated November 10th for this item. And so RJ Ricciardi has prepared a audit for the fiscal year ending in 2020 for San Mateo LAFCo. And as part of the contract for personnel, office space, and services with the county, the commission's funds now are held in the county budget system. And originally they were part of the general fund, which pursued its own audit under the county. And then beginning with fiscal year 2018, those funds were moved to an independent trust fund in line with the independent budget of the commission. So RJ Ricciardi, as I mentioned, has completed the second audit for San Mateo LAFCo covering fiscal year 2019-2020. There were no identified deficiencies or internal control issues or any issues with non-compliance, nor did they find any issues regarding LAFCO financial statements. In the first audit that was completed earlier this year for fiscal year 18-19, there was a recommendation from the audit that trial balances be reviewed on a monthly basis and the cash accounts be reconciled. So the trial balances looks at the credits and debits of LAFCO accounts to making sure that they balance accordingly, so we do not have any issues on a monthly basis. And as noted in both the report and the second audit, LAFCO staff now does review those reports along with other financial information and works with county staff to reconcile LAFCO accounts. In addition, staff now provides the commission quarterly updates regarding our financial situation and able to compare our budget progress and discuss any issues as appropriate. So that concludes the report. That the audit is attached as for review, and we are asking by resolution that the commission approve the draft audit for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob, for the report. It's appreciated. Madam Clerk, can we see about public comment, either written or verbal here on this item?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. And I do apologize if there was any audio issues. There was a little technical glitch, but if you have any comments on item 4, you may use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you're calling by phone. But Chairman, we do not have any hands raised.
Very good. How about commissioner comments or questions on this item? Anybody? Nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, then we'll close off the public comment and the board comment for item number 4. And a roll call, please.
Commissioner Cosgrove?
We need a
A
motion.
motion to approve.
Yep, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Did you catch that, Angela?
I heard Commissioner Draper. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair O'Neill, for that. Commissioner Cosgrove?
Aye.
Commissioner Draper?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Aye.
Commissioner Lohman?
Yes.
Commissioner Rohrbeck?
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Neill?
Yes.
Chairman Slocum?
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. Your motion passes.
thank you. Move now to item number 5, one of the really exciting things on our agenda today. Excuse me. Item number 5 is the appointment of a chair and vice chair for this upcoming year, 2022. And LAFCO staff, I think, has some comments on this. Rob or Martha?
Thank you, Chair. I'll present this item. And hopefully my audio is cleared up a little bit. So you have received a staff report dated November 10th for this item. The staff report requests that the commission appoint the chair and vice chair for 2022. And it typically is the practice to appoint the chair and vice chair at the last meeting of the calendar year, which this is. And the custom then is to have for these positions to rotate by types of commissioners, membership order, following this following order of county, city, public, and special district. If the commission desires to follow the traditional rotation, with the current vice chair being Mike O'Neill, a city member, who would become chair, it would be appropriate to appoint a public member as the vice chair. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for that. Could we open it up to public comment? Did we receive any written or are there hands raised?
Thank you. We did not receive any written public comment, and I do not have any hands raised from members of the public.
Okay, so we'll close off the public comment for item number 5. And I don't know, we'll throw it open to the commission for questions or comments, or if there are none, maybe a nomination for chair and then a nomination for vice chair. Starting with comments or questions. There being none, then, okay, Supervisor Horsley.
I got my little hand up. I will nominate Commissioner Mike O'Neill as the chair for 2022. And if I might, I could nominate Ann Draper as the vice chair at the same time.
Thank you, sir.
Second that.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Aye.
Commissioner Draper,
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley,
Aye.
Commissioner Lohman,
Yes.
Commissioner Rohrbach,
Yes.
Vice Chair O'Neill,
Yes.
Chairman Slocum.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Your motion passes.
Okay, congratulations to you both. We look forward to your leadership in 2022.
Thank you. Take a vote.
Move on to item number 6 now on our agenda, which is appointment of the Budget Committee and the Legislative Policy Committee for 2022. And here again, LAFCo staff will update us on this matter.
Thank you, Chair. Again, you've received a staff report dated November 10th for this particular item. The staff report requests that the commission appoint members to serve on the budget and legislative policy committees. Both committees typically have 3 members representing a combination of the types of LAFCo memberships: county, city, special districts, and public. The budget committee provides direction to staff in preparation with the commission's budget for the 22-23 fiscal year, and will also review any upcoming independent audits that the commission may have. This committee typically meets once in March before the first draft of the budget, typically once more in May. And currently the commission members or the committee members are Commissioners Mike O'Neill, Horsley, and Draper. The Legislative Policy Committee meets as needed to provide direction to staff on pending legislation affecting LAFCo, existing commission policies, and advising staff on new policies as needed. The committee also may meet to discuss pending legislation and provide direction to staff on bills that merit position letters outside of the regular commission meeting cycle. The current committee members are Commissioners Lohman, Martin, and Jim O'Neill. That concludes my report.
Most excellent report. Thank you, Rob. Madam Clerk, public comments?
Thank you, Rob, for your report, and thank you, Chairman Slocum. We did not receive any written public comments, and I do not see any hands raised from the public at this time.
Very good. Any commissioner comments or questions on the matter?
This is Ann, and I've served on both committees over the course of my appointment, and I like both, and I'm willing to serve on a committee wherever I'm needed. Either one.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other volunteers? Choices?
I see Commissioner Lohman's hands raised, and I also see alternate Commissioner Katie Martin hands raised. So maybe we can let Commissioner Lohman, and then I will give Katie Martin permission to speak.
Sure.
There's been a lot of legislation recently about special districts and water issues and all that sort of thing. So I'd like to remain on the legislative committee.
Very good.
Thank
And is Katie ready or?
Yes, I will call on Ms. Katie Wilson, followed by Jim O'Neill, who is also with us. Katie, you should be allowed to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I would like to stay on the Legislative and Policy Committee as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am Mr. Jim O'Neill.
Is Jim going to speak or?
You should be able to unmute your microphone.
I wish to remain on the Legislative Committee if possible.
Your email.
Thank you. And Chair, we also have Commissioner O'Neill with his hands raised.
Okay,
I would be happy to remain on the Budget Committee unless Commissioner Rohrbach wants to do it. Otherwise, I'll be happy to remain on it.
I'll yield to you.
Okay, I just wanted to give you the chance, Harvey, that's all.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I do not see any more hands raised from our commissioners.
Do you, Mr. Chair, do you need a motion to affirm those?
You're muted, Chairman. You're muted.
I'm muted. Doesn't look like it.
No,
yeah, I'm sorry. Do we have all the slots filled on those two committees?
Chairman, the names that I heard were, let's see, Lohman, Martin, and Jim O'Neill were confirming that they were wanting to continue on the Legislative and Policy Committee.
Yeah.
Commissioner Draper was open to either membership on either committee. She currently is on budget. I heard Commissioner Mike O'Neill, Vice Chair Mike O'Neill, show his support to remain on budget. The only other member not here was Commissioner Horsley for budget.
I'd be willing to stay on the committee.
Very good. Since you spoke last, Supervisor, maybe you could make a motion. Oh, we have to do public comment, I guess. Is there, Madam Clerk, is there any public comment on this item?
there is not, Chair. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Horsley,
I'll just make a motion to confirm those appointments to the Budget and Legislative Committees, subcommittees.
Second,
Thank
very
you,
good, roll call.
Commissioner Cosgrove,
Aye.
Commissioner Draper,
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley,
Aye.
Commissioner Lohman,
Yes,
Commissioner Rohrbach,
Yes,
Vice Chair O'Neill,
yes,
Chairman Slocum.
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. Your motion passes.
thank you, everybody, for volunteering. Item number 7, we'll move on to now, which is informational report only. And staff will brief us and give us a legislative report.
Thank you, Chair. This is the monthly or the bi-monthly legislative report for LAFCo. This is an informational item only. On September 10th this year, the California legislation session ended. And on October 10th, was the last day for the governor to take action on any legislation and bills. The memo dated November 10th summarizes the outcome of several bills that LAFCo is tracking and that were of interest to San Mateo LAFCo. I'll briefly touch on one or two of them. AB 1581 was the omnibus bill for Cortese Knox First Local Government Act. San Mateo LAFCO submitted a letter in support in May, and that bill was approved by the governor. SB 403, which would authorize the State Water Resources Control Board to order consolidations of water systems or districts that serve disadvantaged communities that consistently fail to provide adequate water or supply a safe supply of drinking water, or where there's a disadvantaged community that is reliant on domestic wells that consistently fail, was approved by the governor. So the bill would allow consolidations of water systems, but that the limiting number of the connections, 3,300 or fewer connections that could be added as part of the consolidation, and then also clarified LAFCo's role during any potential consolidation. Another bill that was of interest that LAFCo was following was AB 959, which would authorize 4 open space districts, including the Mid-Peninsula Regional Open Space District, to use public nuisance ordinances to establish procedures to abate those nuisances. And that was also approved by the governor. And in anticipation coming up at the end of the year, there will be reports from both the Senate and Assembly on legislation that was signed into law. And we anticipate sharing those reports with the commission at the next LAFCo meeting in January 2022. I'd be happy to answer any questions on the report.
Thank you. Questions? No questions. Thank you.
Actually, I have one question, Rob. The one that says SB 274, which would require a public agency to email the agenda. Does that mean that we no longer have to US mail them, or is it optional, or can we just require we send them an email?
I believe it became an option for public agencies, but let me double check. Hold on one moment.
That's okay. I don't want to delay the commission that much. I was just
I
wondering.
believe it became an option though, so you did not have to mail them, but I can also follow up. Just to confirm.
Okay, no, I'll just Google it myself. Thank you, Rob.
Very good, Commissioner. Okay, thanks, Rob. I think we can move to item number 8 now, which is Cal LAFCo Board of Directors 2021 election results. And this is an informational item, and probably Mr. Rob will present once again.
Thank you, Chair. So Cal LAFCo, the Board of Directors, certify the elections on Thursday, October 7th, 2021 for the Cal LAFCo Board of Directors. There are elections for all 4 regions, but I'll highlight just the coastal region elections, and that's because San Mateo LAFCo as a member of that region. There was a city member and a public member seat open in the coastal region, and the elections were won by the city member representing now Napa LAFCo, from Napa LAFCo was Margie Moeller, and the public member representing the coastal region now is Shane Stark of Santa Barbara LAFCo. And that concludes that report.
Thank you for the report. Any questions? There being none, let's move to item number 9, which is we're going to move into closed session, I believe now, and everybody should have received an email from Angela, I think, with a separate Zoom link. And so does anybody not have that email? Does anybody need help with this moving into the closed session? No. Okay. So we'll leave this meeting. We'll join back together in closed session, and we'll discuss items 9A and 9B. And I don't know if the county council has any instructions for us, but we will be coming back and reporting out here to this Zoom link that we're on right now. Mr. Fox, do you have any instructions for this, or are we on our own?
I think you've covered it all, except that I think we should invite public comment on the 2 closed session items, as there is a right to comment on closed session items.
And would we do that when we return?
No, you have to do it before you go to closed session.
Ah, okay, well, there. So let's open it up for public comment, either written or oral. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Chairman. We did not receive any written public comments for items 9A and 9B, and I do not see any hands raised from members of the public.
Very good. Then we'll move over to our closed session. Check your email for the link, and we'll see you there in a little minute.
Hey Rob, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi Roberto. What's up with your audio feed? Do you hear it? It's like a kind of staticky a little bit.
I don't hear it as it's still coming through.
It is like right now it's like weird. You know, like if something like maybe your cell phone is by the computer or something else is on in your house that's near it, maybe. I don't know. It's like it's weird. It's
Well, it could be whatever is in this.
you're like right there. I was like,
I'm in ISD. I'm upset.
oh damn. Well, so is Martha though, but Martha hasn't really been speaking. So I'm wondering if it's because of that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be just whatever is in this room.
It's the third floor curse. Or something. All right. Well, thanks. I was just wondering. I was like, wonder if
Sorry.
you sometimes your phone is like by it or whatever.
Yeah, no, I had it off before, so.
Oh, you sound
probably whatever
fabulous. You
room.
sound fabulous. So don't worry.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
And for those in attendance, the commission is still in closed session, but should be joining shortly back into open session. Thank you.
I'm muting you, Mike. I'm muting you, Rob. Okay. There. Okay, cool.
Tim, that picture you have on when we first signed on is a little dated, isn't it?
It's actually not as old as you might think. I've aged a lot in the pandemic.
Okay, is everybody back? I guess that's a yes. We'll move now to report out on our closed session meeting. And the bottom line is we have no reportable action to share. And if there is no other business, we'll move on to item number 11. All right, item number 11 is commissioner and staff reports. And not sure, is Rob gonna kick us off with staff reports, or how do we work this?
Yes, I'll just briefly want to mention that as part of the attachments for commissioner and staff reports, there is the 2020 San Mateo County crop report, just for information only.
Yeah, Don Horsley really loves that report every year. He, looks forward to it. All right, thank you all. And now we'll move on to item number 12, which is a resolution honoring the director, Executive Director Martha Poyatos. And after the presentation of the resolution, I will introduce our very special guest, Pamela Miller, and she'll share a few comments with us. But first, let me turn it over to Supervisor Horsley, since he has served of the two of us the longest with Martha, to kick this resolution item honoring Martha off for us all.
Thanks, Chair Slocum. Actually, you're right. I served with Martha for 11 years, but I actually go back longer than that. When I was on a healthcare district, Martha was the executive officer for LAFCo at the time. And so there was kind of a controversial thing about healthcare districts. And I remember those hearings. Martha has always been, I think, somebody who's really knowledgeable about such a variety of subjects. It's really kind of incredible that, healthcare districts are really complicated, much more so than a normal special district. And yet she probably had, the greatest grasp of the nuances of the law. It was even superior to our counsel at the time. So I was really impressed by that. But I was going to say what I would say about her is that she is she's really a fearless advocate for good government. And she is a woman who cannot be intimidated. And I was thinking back on, some of the meetings that we've had that were quite contentious. And I know she's had to go to public meetings, for example, in Broadmoor. And, for whatever reason, oftentimes people think that the goal of LAFCo necessarily is to essentially get rid of a special district. That's not really the case at all. It's really up to the special district, or it's up to the people who are served by that district. It's just our job and Martha's job is to present the facts, and she does it. And sometimes, that could be difficult, and people will oftentimes try to intimidate. But I can tell you that Martha is tough, and you cannot intimidate her. She's thoughtful, she's knowledgeable, she's respected by her peers. She's a leader at the state level. And having gone to not all the conferences, but some of the LAFCo conferences, you can see that she is really well respected and admired by her peers at the state level. I've really always been impressed by her knowledge of really complex issues. And I would say, Martha, had she wanted to, she probably could have been county manager. And she has really, I think, good insights into people. Obviously, that she picks good subordinates, and she really understands systems in a way that shows me that she really is a fine executive. And now, on a personal level, sometime back, my wife had a hip replacement, and Martha knew about it. and she shows up at my house with a casserole. She didn't have to do that, you know, and one could say, well, you know, it's like, I can't do anything for her. She's really at the top of her game. She did that out of kindness. And I think that is something, I know she's retiring, spend more time with her family and her husband, Pedro. And I know when Pedro had some illnesses, Martha took good care of him. And he is a lucky, lucky man. And if he doesn't know that by now, you know, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he recognizes. In any case, I will, I'm really sorry to see Martha go. This is my last year. I was hoping she would stay for my whole last year. But you know, people sometimes know when it's the best time for them to go. And it's probably a good time for her and her family. And I think we will all miss her and we'll all miss her leadership. And I think her really mentoring of other people in the county. So with all that, Martha, thanks. And I really wish you the best.
You know, part of the problem of following Mr. Horsley. Oh, we're getting some feedback there, Rob. Part of the problem of following Supervisor Horsley is that he's always so elegant and he basically says it all. So he leaves the second person to kind of suck air, if you will. But I do have a couple of comments that I'd like to share with you. Martha, you've been in service for 28 years, I believe. And I think Supervisor Horsley and I have you beat. We have, I don't want to admit to how many years of service we have, but a long time. And I think that's commendable. 28 years is just an amazing saga. I would say that my impressions, not having worked with you all that long, not as long as some of the others, but that you were always a fierce advocate for just what I would call, as Supervisor Horsley called, good government. And the casserole story, I think, speaks volumes about your personal character and how you view work life and the people that you work with. You have a concern for them that's not always present. I know that you're the consummate professional and that you're well respected in the LAFCo circles. And I'm sure your colleagues around the state will miss your leadership and stay in touch with you, hopefully. And I would just say that, you know, to be in the public service is, for me, a truly noble purpose. What could be more gratifying than helping people, serving people, improving quality of life issues for people, and doing all the things that county government and all the things that LAFCo does on behalf of our county. So Martha, we wish you the best of luck as you open up this new chapter. Somebody said earlier, people know when it's time to go. I certainly had that feeling. I knew when I retired as assessor that it was the right time. And it's always good to make the decision on your terms and conditions. And so I commend you for your decision. It probably was a difficult one in some respects, but we all respect your decision. And we hope that you stay in touch with us, and we wish you the best, as I said, in opening up this new chapter, and just appreciate everything that you've done for all of us and for the people of San Mateo County. And on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I know that Supervisor Horsley and I are preparing a resolution to go before the board. And so you're going to have to go through this one more time, but just congratulations and good job. Thank you. I see Vice Chair O'Neill has his hand up.
Yeah, I know it's a hard act to follow the two supervisors, but I got to say, I'm going on 9 years on the city council here, and I think about 8 years on LAFCo. And I have to say, I've always enjoyed the professionalism of Martha. I've also enjoyed her when we've gone to the conferences and phone calls and stuff, and she tells me about when she goes hiking with her dogs up on Maury Point in Pacifica. And I know I want to wish her and Pedro many, many years together in retirement, because I know that's an important part of her life, is her family life. She's done an excellent job. She has a real good legacy that she's left this county. And I wanted to thank her both just as a member of LAFCo, city council person, and a citizen in San Mateo. So thank you very much, Martha.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, I'd just like to add some quick comments after all those wonderful comments. I've been on the coast side here for over 30 years, serving in different positions, but the coast side's been a very, very complex mixture of spheres of influence, cities, special districts, supervisors, and everything these issues. I've had tons of questions for these decades, and Martha's just done a wonderful job of answering all those and explaining all these issues and good news and bad news. And I know all of our districts here on the coast appreciate her work also. So thanks a bunch for that.
Thank you for those comments. Next.
This is Anne, and I just again want to thank Martha for all her professionalism. I too have had many, many questions, and she's always been very patient with me and provided me with answers in a very timely way, even on weekends. And so I just really thank her for her, like I said, professionalism, but also her heart. It's really benefited the whole county, and thanks.
Okay, Harvey, I see your hand.
I've been on LAFCo only a couple of years, but when I think of LAFCo, I think of Martha. I really, I've talked to her about a lot of complex issues, like Rick was saying, and I've always got straightforward answers that made a lot of sense. I think she's an example of what a public servant ought to be, and I personally am going to miss her. So thank you for your service, and good luck whatever you choose to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey. Next.
Thank you, Martha, for all your hard work. Thank you for helping me as I came on the commission. Thank you for, on a personal level, just being a friend. And, you know, I can't even really say anything about how capable you are. Anyone who interacts with you knows how capable you are. There's not much else to be said. I'm just amazed at 20 plus years. How are you able to deal with the personalities on this commission? That amazes me. So you'll have to tell me your secret at some point on how you did that. But good luck to you. I wish the best for you, your family, and you will be missed.
Thank you. Any other commissioners that haven't had a chance? Alternates, anybody?
Chair, yes, I do have Jim O'Neill and our former legal counsel, Rebecca Archer, and Pat McCormick that would like to speak for this item. So I will first allow Ms. Archer.
Sure. Rebecca, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. So I am the former legal counsel, and I just want to say a few words about Martha, because when I became chief, giving up LAFCo was the hardest thing to do, because it meant I couldn't spend time with Martha anymore. And with all due respect to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fox, Martha does not need a lawyer. She is her own best lawyer. She is one of the most brilliant human beings I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And she is not only intelligent, but she's also has a very high emotional IQ and was able to navigate some of the most difficult situations that I've ever seen. But really what I'm going to miss about having Martha on campus, because I'm not going to miss Martha because I'm going to see her, is how she would leave me little treats on my desk every so often that she would either cook herself or bring me from some lovely shop, and the Christmas gifts. The the first year I was LAFCo's attorney, Martha, I came into my office and there was a beautifully wrapped present, and I was so excited, and I opened up this present and it was Knox Cortese. So I will miss you. I think, you know, LAFCo, the county is losing a lot. Rob has big shoes to fill, but I know Martha has, you know, coached him along the way, and he's going to be fabulous. So you're definitely leaving a wonderful legacy. And I've got tears in my eyes right now, Martha, because it's just such a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rebecca. I have tears in my eyes as well. Now I have to add that. But now I'm going to call on Pat McCormick.
Thank you. I'm Pat McCormick. I retired 2 years ago from being the executive officer in Santa Cruz County. Since the establishment of LAFCOs in the mid-1960s, San Mateo LAFCO has been very highly respected around the state. Martha, during her tenure, has exemplified and promoted that excellent reputation. Though we share a common boundary, we didn't have many opportunities to work together, but the one I remember was the coastside annexation to the Mid-Peninsula Regional Open Space District approximately 15 years ago. That was among the most technically complex and politically tough proposals that any LAFCO has faced. She was masterful throughout the process. Martha and I both share a mentor, and that was former San Mateo LAFCO Executive Officer Bill Davis. We learned our craft well from him, and I'm sure Martha has taught it well to Rob. Martha, I congratulate you on your good work with LAFCO, and I wish you well in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments.
Thank you. And I will next call on Mr. Jim O'Neill.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim O'Neill, and I'm probably the newest member of LAFCO as an alternate public member. I don't have a great deal to add to the comments that have already been made, with which I agree wholeheartedly, except to say that as the newest member, I found it so gratifying that Martha was willing to sit down with me before we really got started and go through some lengthy orientation sessions. And I was just blown away by her knowledge of everything, and also her welcoming spirit. It certainly put me at ease in filling a role unlike anything I'd been in before. And like the rest of you, I will miss her, and I wish her the best of luck. Thank you, Martha.
Thanks, Jim.
And if I may, through the chair, I just have a couple of comments from Martha as well. I have been very fortunate to work with Martha for the last 3 years. She's been a great mentor and a wonderful person. And Martha has always brought her razor sharp intellect and quick wit to every LAFCO issue she's ever worked on. She's been very generous with her time for explaining complex issues, as many have mentioned, to both the public, to staff, and especially to me. You know, she has worked with a number of applicants and always taken the time to explain these very complex processes that many people don't interact with. And she's always brought grace to that issue. She's always gone the extra mile in helping members of the public grapple with these challenging issues. And Martha truly is a wonderful and caring person and kind person in this office. I'm sure that I'll be still calling her to get her perspective and historical knowledge on lots of things. And if, you know, I'll miss the conversations we get to have in the office on a daily basis. And for that, she leaves behind a tremendous legacy, both at LAFCO and the county, I think. and she really will be missed by staff and by me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Angela, have we allowed everybody to speak that wanted to speak except for Pamela?
Yes, Chairman, I think lastly, we have Ms. Miller that's ready to speak.
Okay, before we move to Ms. Miller, Martha, Supervisor Horsley has a beautiful gold embossed resolution for you that says a lot of really wonderful things about you. I hope that you take the time just to read through it. There are a lot of whereases and wherefores in it, but we will get that to you somehow, some way before you leave in December. And I know the Board of Supervisors is going to take this issue up as well. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. And now I would like to introduce, I'm very pleased that she's here, taking the time from her schedule, which I know is probably very impacted. The Executive Director of LAFCo, whose name is Pamela Miller. I'm sure you all know her, but the basic idea of LAFCo, as we all know and have benefited from, is to help local LAFCos with technical issues, with legislation, and education issues, and quite a bit more. So with that, I would ask Pamela Miller to say a few words if I could. Pamela?
Good afternoon, members of the Commission, Chair Slocum. Thank you so much. It's really a privilege for me to be here today and share a few thoughts about Martha on behalf of the LAFCo Board of Directors and myself as the Executive Director, as well as I'm going to take a personal point of privilege with Martha as my friend. We did send you, Martha, a framed certificate of recognition on behalf of the LAFCo Board of Directors. I'm hoping it arrived in your office today. And I won't bore everybody by reading it, but it basically is in honor and recognition of your amazing 28 years of service for San Mateo LAFCO. You've done it all for them, which creates an extremely unique and valuable perspective for your commission and for the community that you serve. We also wanted to honor you and thank you and really express our gratitude and appreciation for the 4 years that you were Deputy Executive Officer for LAFCo, representing the entire coastal region. So I also want to take a moment to thank your commission for that support. Your contributions to LAFCo and to LAFCOs throughout the state, not only these past 4 years as the Deputy Executive Officer, but in your entire career, they're countless. And they are deep and systemic and sustainable. I used many of the terms that Commissioner Horsley and Chair Slocum used to describe you. They're in my notes here. He's really just a consummate professional and just incredibly smart and fearless. Martha, you are a very values and purpose-driven human being. And that arrow on your compass rarely, if ever, wavers. And that is very rare to find today. So I want you to know that it does not go unnoticed. Your commissioners have said all of the impacts that you've had on your LAFCO and the legacy you've left for your LAFCO and all of the cities, the county, the districts that your LAFCO serves. You have also left that same imprint on LAFCOs, your colleagues statewide. You've left an imprint on a lot of our hearts. And when I talk to local government colleagues outside of the LAFCO world, Martha is infamous. Everybody knows Martha and the wonderful impacts that she has had in your area there. Martha, you have just been an incredible source of inspiration and knowledge for me. And I'm really, really grateful. I won't miss you because we are now lifelong friends. And so we will see each other on a regular basis. But it really has been my privilege to work with you over the last 9+ years, and in particular, these last 4. And I'm incredibly grateful to you for all of the contributions that you have made to all of the LAFCO statewide. So thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Pamela, for joining us, and thank you for those kind words. Martha, I just want to say one quick thing, that you ought to be very proud of the legacy that you've left. Witness these comments from all. I just can't tell you that you just ought to be very, very proud of the contributions that you've made. And Martha, just one other thing. I know you live in an area that I represent on the Board of Supervisors. And if you ever need anything, you just don't hesitate to call me, whether it's cutting down heritage trees or whatever it happens to be. Feel free to call.
Thank you.
And I know you will.
Thank you.
With that, I think we've come to the end of our agenda. Are there any last minute comments or people that I've forgotten to recognize, or any omission that anybody can bring forward?
Does Martha get to say anything?
If I could, I do have some comments I'd like to make.
Well, I wasn't plan. Okay, go ahead, Martha. Just kidding. Of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Slocum, commissioners, and all of my kind friends and colleagues for all your comments. It's really quite an honor. I wanted to share that when my first commission meeting that I staffed as a clerk for the commission, and it was on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 1993. And the controversial item on the agenda was annexation of 4 acres owned by St. Patrick's Seminary to the city of Menlo Park. And coming from the private sector and never having attended a public meeting, I thought, what have I gotten myself into? Because the crowd that showed up to oppose the annexation was large and loud, and each speaker used up every precious second of their 2 minutes. Little did I know that I would live through meetings that would be much louder, much longer, and much more controversial. And you know which meetings those were. When I joined San Mateo LAFCo in 1993, the big news in the headlines statewide was Southern California is burning, 75,000 acres lost. Also in the headlines was the state's budget bailout, known as ERAF, which decimated local government budgets and resulted in massive layoffs. And there was a New York Times article that read, length and strength of El Nino weather pattern surprises scientists. And then we fast forward to 2020, and these events pale in comparison to California's wildfires destroying 4 million acres in 2020, up to 3 million year to date for 2021. The climate change, sea level rise, and the pandemic have challenged all levels of government in unimaginable ways. One of the constant themes throughout the years that as I look back, is resiliency on part of local government, the dedicated county, city, and special district employees. So just as the pandemic has bared the disparities that exist in our communities, local government's response underscores their agility and dedication. And that's a lot to be thankful for. It's been an honor to have supported the commission in so many important decisions, including the expansion of the mosquito and vector control district to be countywide to respond to the West Nile virus, consolidating Half Moon Bay and Point Montera fire districts, expanding the open space district to include coastal San Mateo County, and working with the Los Troncos community for 9 years to dissolve the Los Troncos County Water District. And then of course, all the municipal service reviews and sphere studies that as Supervisor Wardsley mentioned, covered some important but pretty obscure districts, including Resource Conservation District and the healthcare districts, which do very important work. And I'm very grateful that the commission's been a longstanding member of our state association, Cal LAFCo. This is corny, but each year at the annual conference, I absolutely loved hearing the roll call of the 58 counties in our state, in this great state, and then being part of the statewide effort to promote good government. And not to discount how fun LAFCo can be, but the most fun I've had in my career was being the county's coordinator for Census 2000 outreach, which gave me the opportunity to work with the county departments, cities, school districts, and the incredible community-based organizations and nonprofits in San Mateo County. In that effort, the combined work resulted in San Mateo County ranking 14th nationwide of all counties in the most improved response rates on census outreach. I have no regrets about being unwavering about the commission's independence and the LAFCo mission to promote effective service, logical boundaries, and protect open space and agriculture, and I hope this work continues. I would be remiss if I didn't say how lucky I am to have been so patiently supported by my husband, Pedro, and our kids, Javier and Marguerite, as they listened to my geeky stories about LAFCO for all these years and acted like it was interesting. Retiring from a job and organization that you love is always bittersweet, but there are some things I won't miss. I won't miss being told I'm on mute. I won't miss meetings, PowerPoint, repeated multi-agency meetings about complicated lingering problems that conjure up the movie Groundhog Day, and probably most, the loss of civility and public discourse that we all have to put up with. But what I will miss are the brilliant, funny, and generous people who have always come to my rescue when I needed help, no matter how busy they were. You know who you are. I'm terrified of naming names and leaving somebody out, so I'm just not going to do that. In the words of A.A. Milne, how lucky am I to have a career that makes saying goodbye so difficult? Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Martha. We wish you the best in this next chapter. We hope that you stay in touch.
Thank you.
And I just want to once again thank everybody for your patience and your comments and participation here. And congratulations to the committee members who got appointed. Congratulations to Rob, and congratulations to Martha and Pamela. Thank you for joining us. I was going to say you traveled all that way to join us, but actually you just clicked on a link. So I'm not going to say that, but thank you for joining us and saying those wonderful words about Martha. With that, commissioners, we'll move to item 13, which is our adjournment. And our next regular commission meeting is scheduled for January 19th, 2022. And we will adjourn officially at 3:47 p.m. And I would wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and be safe. Thank you
Yes,
all.
to everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Bye, Martha.
Bye, Martha.
Bye.
Rob.
Happy holiday.